Welcome back. Welcome back. I am Laura, and you're tuned in to Drawn to Me. And I'm wanting to talk about another subject. It's different. Not one of those repeat subjects as of now. Okay. So basically, I wanted to talk about being politically correct and politically incorrect. Okay. So, what does it mean to be politically correct?
According to Collins Dictionary, adjective, if you say that someone is politically correct, you mean that they are extremely careful not to offend or upset any group of people in society who have a disadvantage or who have been treated differently because of their sex, race, or disability. The abbreviation PC is also used.
Okay. So as you heard that being politically correct, it's like if you say that someone is politically correct, you mean that they are extremely careful not to offend or upset any group of people in society who have a disadvantage or who have been treated differently because of their sex, race, or disability. And that abbreviation, PC, is also used. Okay. Well, there also are some other things that we can look at. And what do you think about that? Okay, so that's what I'm getting, as you have heard. Now, also, there are other words. So, I wanted to go in there and look at words that are related to politically correct. And that's being considerate, diplomatic, inclusive, inoffensive, liberal, politic, respectful, sensitive, and that PC again, multicultural, non-discriminatory, non-sexist. So you want to think about those things, being respectful, and sometimes it's hard to do. What do I mean by that? Sometimes, no matter how right you try to put things, people can get offended. But the whole idea is to not offend people, and that could be very difficult. So my words to you is to do the best that you can do. That's the most that we can do as far as our wording and everything. Because as far as I'm concerned, people shouldn't get so easily insulted by words, things that they might not even understand how you're trying to use these words or what you really mean. And that's what it boils down to as far as I think of it. Okay, so now I just checked in about being politically incorrect. All right. If you say that someone is politically incorrect, you mean that they do not care if they offend or upset other people in society, for example, with their attitudes towards sex, race, or disability. Okay, so that's what I've gotten here. Of course, that's the opposite of being politically correct. So I just wanted to just come in and talk about it a little bit. Now, of course, in anything, we think that everybody has different views on things until we actually can see what a word means. Because when you're speaking words to people, this is why I believe that secret sessions are good for people to breaking things down, because once you get into the public, it might not be as easy to break down, but it's possible, very, very much so possible. So there are words and things that you can say that can offend people, and most people don't like to be offended. And I hope that you don't get offended by this conversation, because I'm just trying to get the word out here about what it means to be politically correct and politically incorrect. Okay, so there are different things that you can probably say that people will say, hey, you're not saying the right thing. You're not expressing the right things to us. So eventually, if you want, you can just think about how you want somebody to speak things out to you. So then you can go back out and speak the things that you're going to speak in public or wherever you're going to speak it to the person or people the way that you would want someone to talk to you. Okay. So everybody has different views and feelings and things, and I was going here to look at how can you say things about a race, a gender, or sexuality without offending someone? Is that possible, or should those things just be private group talks, or does it even really matter? What I want you to do is come into the comments to us in the contact page, and let's see what you think about that. Should certain subjects be addressed in, like, just groups, like the same group or a smaller group, or should it be pronounced big and publicly? Okay. And this is the question that I have. I'm going on to this website, and it says, does everyone in the same group like exactly the same things or feel exactly the same way about all issues? Of course not, but groups do tend to share common tastes and interests. Demographics and target markets are based on that. So while you don't want to overgeneralize, we shouldn't shy away from what statistics show us, whether talking about the TV shows that Asians tend to prefer to the kind of books middle-aged women buy. As a marketer, you have to look for the trends and ferret out the assumptions versus the truth, okay? All right. And that was number one. And number two says acknowledge assistive devices. If a person uses a wheelchair, a hearing aid, cane, or other assistive device, they know you see it. So your coworker does not need you to pretend that you don't. Acknowledge the device normally if it comes up in a conversation. Don't use euphemisms or let your sentence trail off awkwardly. Okay, the physically disabled are perfectly competent, normal people, and that device is an ordinary part of their lives. For you to pointedly ignore it makes them feel just as uncomfortable as it does when someone fusses or treats them as incapable. All right. So, going into that, like I said, let me know what you feel, because there's a lot of subjects and topics out here, and me personally, I don't want to come out just to offend anybody. I want to get out the truth or what someone needs, something that's just going to help them, whatever it is. Okay. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. To Drawn to Me, and I welcome you back to another video anytime. Have a good day.